All right, guys, welcome back to Beyond the Big Top, episode 2. But in my mind, this is kind of our first real episode. The last one was kind of an introduction to the idea that we're doing here, and Austin Fowler, the guy behind the computer right now. Wave to me, Austin. Hey, he's back there. I want to start with some news for Big Top. We have some really cool stuff we're doing, the podcast being one of the things, and then I just want to plug in that we're doing this really cool award tournament on December 20th. Come and check that out. But for our guest today, I have Christina Amrine. Say hi, Christina.
Hello.
Christina, you're what would you say? You're a local entrepreneur and businesswoman.
I'm a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, local entrepreneur would be good.
And you own Amrine Auto, is that the
Amrine Equipment.
Amrine Equipment.
Yeah, Amrine Equipment and Small Engine on South Main Street.
I always just call it Amrine's when I'm heading there. But say it for me one more time.
Amrine Equipment and Rentals.
Nice. Now I've been getting a lot of my needs met over there for a long time, but we'll save that for a second. What I'm really interested in, I'm going to tell everybody a little bit about you, Christina. So Christina here, guys, the reason I asked her to come on for our kind of first official interview is I'm really impressed by you, Christina.
Thank you.
I really like your energy. I like your personality.
Thank you.
I like your achievement. I just really like you. I think you've done really well with your existence, you know what I mean? And I think we all can struggle with that sometimes. So when I was thinking about the types of folks I wanted to bring on to talk on the podcast, I just wanted to talk to real local people that I think are just doing really cool stuff, and then just talk to them about how they go from having ideas, because I think we all have amazing ideas about cool stuff that we want to do. And people ask me a lot. They're like, "Wow, man, you're doing all this cool stuff." And I know it was really hard for me sometimes to go from having these ideas to actually doing the stuff that I want to do. And so I want to just talk to more locals about how they're executing these ideas, and where's the energy coming from, where's all of it coming from, you know what I mean? So I want to start with you at the start. So when did you become a business owner?
Well, okay, so I've had a few businesses. We're actually a local and state and federally registered reptile rescue. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me about this last time, which is the coolest thing. And so when did that start?
We started that last year. I signed us up because there's no other reptile rescues out there that specialize in just snakes, or, actually the DNR calls us. And it's really funny because they'll call us and be like, "Hey, we have these snakes. We don't know what they are. Come identify them." And we'll have to go out there to wherever the DNR is and identify these snakes. And sometimes we get to take home really cool snakes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool.
See, and see, that's so interesting because you went from, I mean, it's hard enough just to become a business owner, and from my understanding, you were thrust into that in your life, and you rose to the challenge.
Well, we started out with ball pythons, and then we went into different amphibians and reptiles, and then Brett down at the Critter Center, he was like, "I don't have anybody to help me with these intakes." And we're like, "Oh, we can do that because we've got 20 racks at the house that are free." So we have them separated from our collection versus the bring-in collection. So that way we don't
how many reptiles are you taking care of right now?
We have 19 snakes.
Wow.
I don't know how many lizards we have. And then we have a tegu. I don't know if you know what a tegu is.
I think you were mentioning
this.
It's
a massive lizard.
That's amazing.
And we have a monitor, and he's in the hall, and I call him the hall monitor.
That's low-hanging fruit, Christina. That's dirty. All right, so I want to clear this up for my own mind too. So you're running essentially two operations right now. You have your full-time business, Amrine's Auto Equipment, and then a year ago you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna start rescuing reptiles. And
Before that, I actually had a construction business too that I ran for 3 years, and we were very profitable. And you can make a lot of money doing construction if you have the right equipment, if you have the people that know what they're doing. And the customers would call me, I'd build up the jobs, and my boyfriend would help me with the material lists, and then we would give a quote to the customer, and they always said yes, which is cool. But it got to where it was almost too much running two businesses
right
at the same time. And so I just brung everybody to the shop. That way we can focus on the shop,
yeah
let the construction business
and
go.
make sure that your quality of work is staying high in that shop, and make sure that put all your focus on one thing, so you can just really do it super well. And then once that's doing really well, then you had some extra energy, so you're like, I'm gonna rescue snakes.
Yep.
So it sounds like, I mean, and I'm sure there's been more instances in your life, and this is I'm really glad we're touching on this, because this is what I find so interesting about you, is that you have in multiple instances in your life had an idea, been like, I want to do this thing, and then just actually
I just go for it.
Right, just go for it.
Well, I find out what I have to do legally,
right,
to make sure that my paperwork is done right, because I don't want to be caught.
Well, that's a natural
without a
step on
license
any no matter what kind of, like, if it's outside of just like shop projects and stuff like that, if we're talking like a public or a business or anything like that, then you always got to jump your hoops, guys. Remember that, listeners. Jump through those hoops. They're there for your protection.
Just Google it. It's
yeah,
all on
Google it. Yeah, literally. That actually brings me down to it, because what I want the podcast to focus on is real world actionable ideas that can help people go from their own ideas to things like myself, for instance. When I was opening the game store here, this was a wild idea, not even just a couple months ago, and I didn't have any money for it. I had nothing. I didn't even have a location yet. But when we were having the kind of wild idea, and we did get lucky a lot along the way. But some of the strategies that I used to be able to just kind of like just throw myself at it in the first place, that's the tough spot. So I want to hear about, so you're at home one day. When does the idea come to you that you want to do this like reptile rescue thing?
Brett called us and he's like, hey, I kind of need help, because I can't go to Clayton for these calls. I need someone stationed somewhere else.
And he just knew that you were
he
proficient
knew,
with reptiles?
We've been going to Brent for years, getting our rats and getting our crickets. And so we see him once a week on schedule, to feed the snakes. Yeah. And
so it started with one, and then there was another, and then another.
Well, we were collecting like different ball pythons, because there's all kinds of different ball pythons. There's like super flies. There's so many different breeds, and we were like, gotta catch them all. Gotta get every breed of snake.
Okay. I see the connection. So starts like that. When do you realize you need to like make some kind of like a legal step about it?
I didn't want to be taking care of these animals illegally.
So you did it pretty quick?
Like the
first time
I
that
got
he asked
the
you
license.
to take care of a snake?
It took me 2 days to get the license. It wasn't fast, or it wasn't slow. It wasn't a slow process.
Now, and you're not receiving any income off of this business?
No, it's pure donations. I have signed us up with a few grants. They're not approved yet, but it'd be cool if we could get some grants. That way we can update our snake racks, or, help cover the food. Yeah. Actually, I have some customers that come in at the shop, and they'll be like, hey, I know you run this reptile rescue. Here's $20 to help with the feedings, And then other customers will come in, hey, here's some money. So they donate. Yeah. And I have one person that donates religiously to help us with feeding everything.
Well, if you're listening to this, which I know we don't have a lot of listeners, I'll mention that too. We did have, guys, 66 listens last week, which was really cool for our first episode. And if you're listening now, I'm sure there's some way you can, is there any way people can look up your rescue or anything like that?
Yeah, we actually have a Facebook page.
Yeah? Yeah. And the name of it is?
It's called Amrine Phillips Reptile Rescue.
Cool. cool.
Yeah.
I maybe we can get you some traffic or something. So you start rescuing these snakes, and you went through the legal jump ropes. Has there been any challenges since then that have like?
We ran into one instance where the DNR called us, and they're not actually supposed to identify snakes anymore because someone had some vipers, and they're like, "Oh, they're ball pythons," and it wasn't, and DNR got bit, and he had to go to the hospital because it was a viper. And so they're not allowed to really identify snakes without someone coming in and saying, "Oh, this is definitely this type of snake." You know, that's illegal. They can't have this here. You know, write them a ticket. You know,
But you as a snake handler,
we can take it in.
very interesting.
Yes.
So people in the area, if they run across, say, like a snake in their backyard that they need removed, would you be the kind of person that would call over that?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got our snake hooks ready. You know, we've got bags
that
ready.
is so cool.
Yeah.
So now let's talk a little bit about the game shop, because you have also been one of my most just loyal supporters in the starting of the shop. You've been you and your partner Cole have been here. I mean, 3-4 times a week on the regular. Cole 4 or 5 times a week on the regular. And you guys have been just big supporters. So as a testimonial, I was wondering, and not just about the shop, but what have games meant for you in your life across your success over the last 10 years?
It's fun to come over here and connect with everybody else that has the same interests as me. Because it's cool to meet these new people, you know, especially the younger generation that's getting into the Magic scene or getting into the Lorcana scene. You know, and I get to you know, help them. You know, it's cool to teach. It's cool to teach people things that they get excited about, you know, and then they keep coming back and they're like, "Oh, let's play again." And then I'm learning my decks even more by playing them. You know, like I have a vampire deck that I play with, and it just mills life off of people, and whatever you lose, I gain. So I'll hit 50 points, you know, before the middle of the game's over, you know.
Yeah, so while you're doing all these things, you're finding time for games, you're finding time to come over here and connect with your friends, and connect more with the community. What is your secret, Christina? Because I guess maybe that's another thing I really like about you, right? Is you seem happy.
Thank
right?
you.
And
I'm very happy.
yeah, and that is the thing I'm really trying to make more accessible to people, both with the game store and with my circus gym. Is like, because I just hate it for people, because so many of us are struggling out here just on that baseline of being happy. So
well, this is where people come to escape.
Yeah, for sure.
This is where I come to escape and not think about what's going on at the shop or what's going on at the house, because actually there's remodeling going on at my house right now. One of my walls is completely deteriorated.
Oh my goodness.
And there's no insulation either, we found out. So my whole house has like this particle board insulation that's this thick. And so we're fixing things here and there on my house. Just put a brand new roof on my house. That's fun. So excited to be an adult, you know. Look forward to the things that cost a lot of money.
Yeah. It's hard out here, man.
People need something to help them escape their own reality, you know. Because if I was just stuck at the shop all the time, I don't think I'd be so happy.
Well, and we need more connection with our community, and we need it in places. And this was, again, large motivation for opening the shop, and also for starting the guild and trying to expand the space, was because we need more like ways to hang out and interact with each other outside of just going to a bar or you know, I mean, we all wait for these like cool events, and they're really fun when we have like those fun parades and those parties at each other's houses. But a lot of times I think what people want is a place to kind of decompress, like on their way home, you know, like an intermezzo kind of a space where I still have energy. I'm not ready to go sit on my couch necessarily.
Well, that's what I do. We'll get home and we'll sit there and I'm like, my house is clean, my dishes are done, my laundry's done. I'm like, okay, everything's done. I don't want to sit here and watch TV.
Yeah, I'm just.
And Cole will be like, let's go to Evans,
Yeah,
you know?
and then sometimes you run into people here, and all of a sudden we're having a good night.
Yeah, we've met a lot of cool people here. There's a good following that comes.
Well, and I've been seeing, especially for those that are coming around a lot, I've just been seeing a lot more of that, like a lot more happy faces, a lot more just mental health.
Mental health is serious.
It really is. And to me, games are, I don't want to call them an answer, but if you find a game that you can be passionate about, and I'm certain that there's a game for everyone, even people that think that I don't like board games for this, I don't like Dungeons and Dragons for that.
Luckily, you have such a wide selection of things for people to do, to escape their reality. And Cole's the same way. He's like, I'm bored. I'm going to Evans.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why he's here every day.
I'm about to add the ring and hook game on the wall right over there, just because it's just all about games, and you can and games are not, we were using the word escape earlier, and games can be an escape, and they're good for that, but they also are not always just automatically an escape. Sometimes they're actually, I think, a way for us to interact with reality even more intimately, because I can use it to escape. I can definitely use a game to escape my problems, but if I look at it from another perspective, I'm also using the game to have like a more meaningful interaction with you, while we play the game together. And then all of a sudden we're spending 2 hours together instead of 30 minutes, and we're talking the whole time, and I'm finding out more about you, and in a lot of ways, sure, I'm escaping the noise of reality outside of me, but I'm also like more intimately interacting with the reality that's right here in front of me, like a lot more intimately. Otherwise you and I, if we were at work together, we might stand next to each other for 8 hours and never get a chance to exchange a word about ourselves.
Not as busy as the shop is.
Yeah, no.
When you're at the shop, it's go, 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 go. Don't stop. Get this done. Let's do this. Let's load this. Let's go. Let's get this done. Let's get parts run for
and
this.
And all the words we're exchanging are they got it. We're on a mission. We don't got no time for chit chat. Even my circus gym can be like that. I'm. Now at the circus gym, we do end up tackling some big emotions and stuff like that sometimes, because people are training themselves and they're confronting their weaknesses and a lot of stuff like that. But at the same time, it's all kind of business, you know what I mean? And I don't even have time to necessarily sit down with someone and just do nothing, you know what I mean? Because that's where some of the most insightful moments in people's lives are, right? Is like once they've dropped all of their kind of posture and sit on the porch and get a glass of sweet tea and spend an hour winding down, and then all of a sudden some random thought comes out of their head, and that's when you really get to know people, I think. And that kind of stuff happens the most over a shared game. So at least I hope so. And I find you so interesting because you are just, I see like you're almost living two lives. You're like working so hard out there, and then you're able to come in here and you're just having so much fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's 6 days a week at the shop, so yeah. I need to get away from that a little bit.
That's awesome. Reminds me a lot too of a lot of these other folks I see. I've been noticing that a lot around the shop, is that the people that are the most passionate about these games have like 4 other or 5 other things that they're crazy passionate about, that they're just like, and they're just amazing at, which was the motivation for starting the podcast. I was like, so anyone who's listened this far, this has been Christina Amrine, and my big takeaways from this, Christina, really sounds like, just that my big takeaway is to be yourself. I know that seems like a simple.
It's very hard to be yourself because there's a lot of judgmental people around here, especially in the Bible Belt. Yeah. Like, well, I'm covered in tattoos.
Right, blue hair, lots of sass, yeah, and so
that's
good at what you do.
It
really is, yeah. And and what I see is that you've been yourself. And you've rolled with the punches.
Yep.
When a person called you asking about this skill that you have, and this is for you listeners, this is the big takeaway, right? From what I hear about Christina here is that first you developed this weird skill with snakes, right? And that was just a personal hobby. You just liked it. You were just
Yeah, we
handling
just collected snakes.
collecting snakes.
Well, then we had people calling us and messaging us and
Right.
saying, "I can't take care of this."
Right. Step 2.
Yeah.
People
what,
now
what
are
do we do?
Yeah, people are now interested in that knowledge that you have, that you acquired over 10, 15, 25 years. And then one day you're getting enough calls about that you're like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and just jump through the legal hoops, and I'm going to start doing this
Yep.
on the side, and I'm not even going to worry about.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And you know what? We could say the same thing about my story with Big Top here. Really what happened is I've been a crazy passionate nerd for like 15 years, and I'm just like, no matter what else I've been doing on the sidelines, I've been just like learning about nerd stuff, and not just a little bit about it, but a lot about it, the markets, how it buys, how it sells, how to create a sustainable market. And that's why while I'm doing this, I'm doing my circus stuff. And then one day I just, the opportunity arose and I struck.
And I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, me too. And it's been really great, not just for me, but I feel like I've never had such a positive impact on so many people. And I've had a lot of positive impact.
What I think is great is the younger kids that come here, they're
Mm.
opening up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I see them as kind of shy and reserved when they first come in. And then it's like, once you start to talking to them, they blossom. They just open up a little bit, and then they open up some more. And it's like, okay, I'm getting somewhere with this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We had 2 young guys like last month that had not seen each other since high school.
Oh, really?
That had actually the last time they had seen each other, they had a fight, and it had been and they had been friends, and they had dropped it right there, but they had been seeing each other around the shop and been kind of avoiding each other. And one day they just had this like moment. It was like right in front of the checkout counter. They just had this moment where they like both were apologizing to each other, and then all of a sudden they both bought a set of mystery dice, and I kid you not, they pulled like matching but opposite
That's
sets,
awesome.
like blue and red, and then they went down and played a game of Magic, and
That's
those
awesome.
guys refound a friendship that without the shop or without games, really. I mean, I love for the shop to take a little credit, although I think all I did was speed it up, just give them a place to do it like now rather than like wait for circumstance to just do that for them. You know what I mean? But yeah, really, really proud of stuff like that. But so for our listeners, the takeaway here, guys, is start with being yourself, do what you love, learn about it, become great at it. And do this not with a perspective of like, oh, I want to make money off of this thing, but I promise you, just make sure it's something you love, because you never know what's really going to happen in life. You never know where you're going to end up, but do what you love, learn about it, become great at it, and then eventually an opportunity is very likely to arise, like in that field. And when it does, strike. And if one does not arise on its own, I promise you, if you get good enough, you can create your own opportunities out of those skills.
And if anybody needs help registering as a local business or getting a business license, I know how to do all of that.
Yeah.
I can help someone better themselves.
Yeah,
I'm all about helping people
yeah.
better themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, any of these guys that are hanging out around the shop, honestly, and what that comes down to, guys, is if you want some community, come on down to Big Top. We have people just like Christina here hanging out every day, every evening. And we are all here to try to see everybody succeed. We really are. We really just want to, like, whatever your vision is. And if your game is life, guys, and you're trying to succeed at the game of life, come on down, because we play that game too.
I'll play with you.
Yeah, we really do. We play that game, and actually we're getting pretty good at it. So we want to help everybody pass go, collect $200. You know, like we're trying to, yeah. So I think we're probably running up on our time. Christina, thank you so much for letting me just like ask you all these questions.
Of course.
And sharing your insights. And I want to plug one more time, guys. That is Amrine's Auto Equipment.
Amrine Equipment and Rental.
Thank you. So sorry.
It's okay.
Names are hard for me. Amrine Equipment and Rental. And your snake business?
It's Amrine Phillips Exotic Rescue.
Nice. And this is Christina Amrine. She is, we've known each other since since we were little bitty. So it is so cool to have her on the show. And thanks, guys. See you next week.
See ya.